Втори дубъл правиме, втори опит. Запичат YouTube, ако доживея да видя това нещо. Ако ви хареса, може да се абонирате там за канала и отдолу в инфото ще оставим линкове към Twitch, където също може да си лахме и на живо. Пускам New Game, очевадно. Така иначе се пребаха. Първи опит се преба. То най-вероятно има някакви чекпоинти, де. Ама аз така иначе се разсеях с началото. Добре, ето, поне виждам, че 1910 година се развива действието. Поне само въпрос нали, за Red Dead Redemption малко по-рано. Някъде май след първата игра, която нали, е също предистория на втората, а така да е продължение на втората, да се развива действието. Понеже Red Dead Redemption беше до 1890-та. Двойката...
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
What are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar.
Тогава не съм много сигурен дали е била
Bet you got
разпространена
some
толкова
great
бирата.
stories.
A couple. Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry
Повече
Plummer's
вече се
gang?
наблягне на
in Bannock,
спиртните
Montana?
напитки.
Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels, boy. First man I hunted was back when I was riding with Billy the Kid.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawmen who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
Не знаем какво се случва. Поне ни на стрима, де.
It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm
Това
near
ще се развие
Stevens Springs.
1910-та историята. 30 години по-рано, какво ще рече 1880-та.
I threw in with the kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I tell you why I want that son of a bitch dead,
Ох, принцип много мраза,
I'll tell you what happened that day. I was
ако
heading
трябва да
back
съм
to the
откровен, нали,
hideout when
да
suddenly
се
I had
движа,
this funny
да си
feeling.
говорят и да слушам и да чета.
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
You heard that. Need to stay here and keep an eye on the road.
That's not
Все
fair.
пак,
We're missing all the fun.
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
пусто любопитство да видя линейна си историята. Така да е, играта.
Is he with us?
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast.
They're coming from the rear!
Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire
Така,
homestead.
това беше
I
за
decided to help
умението.
Billy and the boys out. So that's just what I did.
We have one behind us! Stay on it!
As the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kid's apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand and lay
Поне вече
down.
знаем и как да си отключим и второто оръжие. Хоп, хоп.
I think we got it standing up!
I knew that going through that front door meant putting my butt in a shooting gallery, so I decided to get sneaky.
Само че... тук понче сме взели колектабъла.
Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. Still, one of them reached the water tower.
Така, това е за доджа.
Not a bad idea. It would be a
Ако не го
turkey shoot
усерем.
from up there.
Of course. Така.
Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed.
Горе-долу го изкарахме до
The
тук.
right
Да,
position is very
почнах от начало,
important.
викам по-добре да...
Personally, I
И без това
prefer to
бехме
be
да
on
покривате
top.
круша.
Oh, you do?
Indeed, darling. But where was I? Oh, yeah. A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks.
И направим... Мпакваме родата.
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you!
Try aiming, you idiots.
Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house.
Watch your flank.
I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo.
Не бе, попук.
It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house.
Боже, бах това отражение. Не знаете колко обичам се впечатлявам.
Inside, none the worse for wear. I passed Dirty Dave.
RTX и RTX отражение си има и в старите игри. Айде. Влизаме с вратата и два реда тухли. Или да кит. Ай си любити до 21 годишна възраст.
Grab a gun and get to the window.
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm. I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming.
I think I got one.
That's when Charlie got hit. They're catching us in a crossfire, shouted Billy. Get to the other side.
Чакай, къде сте, бе? Ами то реално, нали да не забравяме, че и Red Dead Redemption може да си го цъкаш от първо лицета. И има си някакви механики. Па и дет си вика, ако не можеш измислиш нещо ново и го направиш да работи, защо пък не? Къде сте, бе? Пасвани. Аха!
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down. It was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor. What's that mean? It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a gap.
Има, аз съм я пуснал на нормал. Две трудности почеш, нормал и хард.
I'll draw their attention. I said that it was time to cut and run. The director had ordered me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do? Many would have fled in my place.
Quarters, long snap shooter. Slows down time, take your time when aiming. Аз много ме кефи с пушката да ги стрелям помежду. То е райфъл, нали? Един вид. Аз и в Red Dead Redemption много я обичах нея. Resistance on average every fourth enemy bullet shot from short weapon will bounce a few. Това е обаче готино умение и ще го направя на него. Да сме по-малко vulnerable. За момент, то май си беха и толкова, да имаме 3... Не знам дали се отключваха, даже не помня дали се отключваха още дървета за апгрейд.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack, he's just joshing with you.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Please, call me Silas, ma'am. Now, where was I?
Това бастун, боже, дървен щит. Верно, че имаше такива олигофрени. Майка ти.
You were heading for the barn.
Така. Това даже не знам как го направи. Май си го направи автоматично. Каквото и да е. Втори срим няма да има, утре съм на работа. За съжаление. Ами да е тук, бе. Истерекче. Кот, надявам се... Го надявах срещу вторник. Може им сега е по-спокойно вече работа. Аз това ти викам, аз съм вкъщи, съм се прибирал, просто колкото да спъх, дето има една приказка. И единствено си пусках тук малко, примерно, да си пусках аз Overwatch, пошах да цъкам пак.
launched into a showdown.
А, и с нощи примерно цъкахме с Жени Форча Fallen Guys, но нямах сили за стрими, иначе щях да си пусна аз един стрим. А и приличах тотално на къс. Това обаче беше някакси Keep your enemy in focus using мишката, добре. Дуелче. Паче, как беше? Точно надявам се да ми даде инструкцията. Reach their gun, press to draw your weapon and shoot.
And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Горе-долу.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables.
Такива, какво се стана? Боже, аз това не го помня, често казвам. Нищо.
Stepped inside, and last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
О, вика, нямах това предвид, като казах, че сме се срещнали. Не желая да сменям трудността. Искам си продължим на норм.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Вика, много добре се справи с първото ниво. Искаш да смениш трудността? Не. Благодаря. Я да не съм садист.
And the kid surrendered?
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Ша набесят.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after.
4 месеца след ареста.
He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Да, ама ние сме
Why were you after him?
фандиза.
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
Как?
My first order of business was finding a firearm.
Трябва да си намериме оръжие. Оп. 1 от 4. Мале, успех да ги намеря. Така, това е за райфъла. Имаме по една точка на всичките. Така. Оп.
Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Shotgun. Mali.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Anybody see Billy?
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn thing. The kid's escape raised a huge ruckus. Guards were everywhere looking for him.
Can't let the kid get away.
А, на къде сме? През покрива.
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could. Some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms. And suddenly, I was a fugitive. Keep missing.
Garrett's gonna kick our ass. Can't have got it far.
Сейчас няма много патрони помежду другото. О, добре, не е трябвало така да го направя. Добре, поне ме върна на някакво разумно място. А, боже! Сега видях. То слага дъските, бе, човек.
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever going to find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there. I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past.
This town doesn't have a moment's peace.
Търват се.
But hell, if they
Ah,
were
man,
all
that's-
waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
You hooligans can go to hell.
Боже, къде сте, бе?
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and color. I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
Put down your weapon.
Абе, кой ме стреля, бе? Не го виждам. Боже, его.
Damn you! Give it up! Hey, I'll get your headstone!
There's children here.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters.
I'm here.
Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
Добре, нямаме ли?
You're threatening the lives of innocent people.
Нямаме ли? Кажи го, бе. Искам райфъла пак да докопам. Боже. Аха. Към откъде на къде наминем,
Where
а?
was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Аха, ето.
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free.
Добре, готови сме.
There he is.
Ох, това е като Quick Time Event. Чакай сега. Нали знаете колко съм добър в Quick Time Event-ите? Така.
So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town. I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy, and all that blame would fall on him. Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun. Anyway, it was me or them, and the only way forward led me straight to perdition. But the cards were dealt, and I had no choice but to play them.
Къде сте, бе? Пичове, вие нямате ли патрони за... Той вие? За карабинката? Явно не.
I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
Аз сигурно си няма как да се бъде всичките изтрегове.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. Dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said. I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street,
Аз се дуелираме.
eyeball to eyeball. He
Не
intended
вече
to
знаем как
kill me,
работи.
and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Adjust hand position. Noted scored. When you hear the heartbeat, you can draw your gun first, but this will be noted. Dishonorable act and scored. Aha. Fuck. Усрах го. Оп,
I killed him in
браво.
a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice.
Няма.
Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day.
Не, мачо.
That Garrett
Ти си
gunned
тук, бе,
down
добре.
Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
Добре, добре мина. Мечка се бори минимум 3 пъти, нали знаете? То си беше бая мечка, де. Добро. Екстра.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me.
Мехико!
I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
Не знам с тази тъпа пауза, дете се получи, за съжаление. Викам, може да си тръгнали? Сега дето има една приказка.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
Между другото, мисля, че играта не е особено дълга. Дали не е около 6-8 часа, ама пак ще ни трябва да сигурно с 2 стрима. Да опукаме.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo.
Не, нямам точка.
And yes, he was working
Какъв
for
ще
old
народ
man
от трепак? Тук аз просто надушам каскада, ще я кажа, не ми засада. Много ми е...
I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man.
Over there! There!
I did my best to help those poor passengers. Moments later, the attackers were dead. And I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing.
No one.
None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches always did. They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies'
Чакай.
making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to it.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle.
О, боже.
I was holding my own.
Преразказвай историята.
Overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green, but I blundered in regrettable situations. But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo.
Давай.
With the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge. But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to find my way past these other assholes first.
Стига де, стига де.
I was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up.
И накъде да избегам?
Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim. Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
Бегите крачка да бегаме.
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this.
Where's he gonna run to now?
I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going. And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven, I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Bat Masterson once told me...
Това малко, да ви кажем, леко звучи като историята на някой рибар. А рибата, вика, беше толкова голема, че 3 души я въдихме, разбираш ли?
And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right, Jack. I was done running. The old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir. I came at them like a wildcat. My fury knew no bounds.
Добре.
It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Show yourself, coward!
Елате утре.
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, Clanton, I'm coming for you! A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest.
Please carry even more of these deadly revolver bullets or capacity. Добре, какви са другите? Langer Longer Combo. Stay active. Аха! Decisions. Increased.
Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come. But I knew I could not let that deter me.
Така.
Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun.
Така, трябва да го доджнеме тоя. Това е сигурно. Това път е майката на кактусите. Така.
Most everyone thought it was the Juarez who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Kill him, for Christ's sake!
Чакай. Къде си, бе, байкуй? Аз не го виждам къде е, бе. Фак. Ще му фърлим един динамит и да не се разправим с него. О, боже, колко тъпо го фърли. Дева. Добре, първо думкаме тия двамата, дето го покриват. Малко по-умно да действам, а? Поне ми се видеха двама, де. Така. Верно ли? Айде. Досадник голем беше.
And told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps. And that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
43. Малко ми смъкнаха точността. От 80 или там колко 70% падна на 56.
A few weeks after that dust-up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo.
Сега ме смаляте
I had
годинките тук на
tracked him and the
последват.
cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill, and they were loaded for bear.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. But first I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Earth's coming!
Get ready, boys.
Hop.
Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise. And after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted his head. So they murdered Morgan Earp, grievously wounded his older brother Virgil.
Я да видим. Това да рестартираме, да презаредим по-бързо райфъла. Мене много ме кефи райфъла. Така или иначе. Само имаме патрони за него. Каквито нямаме. Опа.
Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
Къде бегаш, бе? Говньо. О, накъде сме, бе? Нещо скрито, покрито тук няма. Как се чува този дъжд? Секпойнт.
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the cowboys identified each other. And I was beginning to wish I had one myself. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what moved me.
Верно ли сега, че презареждам, бе? Страшен тапак съм.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have been.
That lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Така. Мисля, ти дървите ще не ги фърдат на тимберицата.
Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't
О,
his son
дедаче.
take over the
Хело,
Cowboys?
хело.
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot.
Баш ми е драго. Стигнахме да пуснем нещо. Ти как си? Не, че не сме се виждали деца вика по стримовете, ама все пак. Ох, тук всичко спръца направо ме изнервя.
Where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Son of a bitch!
Може ги презарежем дева и оръжията.
Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Да, ние нямаме прикритие. Така, това да се чува. Важно е да сме живи и здрави. Аз мога да слезнам тук, бе, а? Мухлё. Чакай сега, кой е бос от всичките, бе? Айде.
There were carts Trucks everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
Аз помежду не съм намерил никакви такива бонусчета, само да кажа. Не, че някой ме пита, ама все пак.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here.
Шотган не.
There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
О, Стефания, какво правиш, а? Добър ден. Добър ден, добър ден. Нищо, че е по-лесно, правилно. Абе, аз къде съм, бе?
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Опа. От Стима вчера беше на промоция. За 1,50 и си я взех. Дърта! Колко пъде дърта?
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
А весело иначе.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Shit. О, май глична поне. Благодаря ти. Батите пак. Много ти здраве.
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
Не е много дърта, като тя GTA 5 вече не е много млада. Добре, че направих. Какво е сега да се води? Paint Edition. Enchanting. Абе, некъв Edition. Бре, омбре. Джони Ринго. Добре, обаче то път няма опътвания за...
It's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Ох, деба, мама ти деба. Първо вътре не е вътре.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Им да държим ръката близко. Много работи трябва да гледам вече. Фак. Мирен Рекси. Вече се бори 3 пъти.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Много бавно го вада, мама му стара.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Гледам скоростта там, аз съм през гледам му на това ръката. Нищо, Dishonored. Избързав. Ама не беше нарочно. Не беше нарочно, без искам го натиснах. Dishonored killed. Fuck.
I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made.
Не си да по-малко точки. Нечестно. В най-общ превод. И има с някакви правила там за дуелиране, ало. Дрън-дрънта плес.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son.
Дитак типа само не си чувал Call of Juarez. Тя е от създателите на Сириус сам, помежду другото, нали, да натъртиме. Има 4 в цялата поредица, третата никой няма други към нея обаче, защото се развива в наши дни. Втората е много добра, който не е играл, препоръчвам. Мазето ги вадим, от Стима ги вадим. Какво направя? Беше на дневна промоция, това ти викам. Ох, ама трябва да пикам след малко. И си чу дали не направя в момента тая работа. Мараня. Я даже не съм сигурен дали сме на тука. Тука, там. Ето и входа за мината, бе. Кой вика, че го нема? Оп. Нещо по-специално? Не. Благодаря.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine.
Направо ги почваме.
God made men. Samuel Colt made them equal.
Аре бе. Аре бе. Къде си, бе? Викам по-нагоре. И имаш плюс, ма нямаш шанс. По-хубав пътвак. Добре, тия 2 квадратни метра успях да си изгуба ли, бе, човек? Това не е истина. Боже, извинете.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving, murdering their neighbors. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach.
Do you know who we are?
Пътница, аз не ви виждам въобще.
Dangerous, desperate individual. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it.
Упси. Верно ли, бе?
They must have thought I was tough. Or had some kind of death weight. Seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. One stray bullet, one stray spark, and I'd be blown to hell and gone. Did I have any second thoughts about what I was doing? No. I thought I was some kind of hero.
Тия ли беха топани? Добре.
I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense.
Напълно има логика, бе.
It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous. As there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way. Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
I'm ending you.
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Добре, парам се да пишем за един секрет.
I'm putting you down.
Пак това е клас. Get even more of these. Combo meter. Това е за двата пистолета. Това е за повече врагове, ма нищо.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come. With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, body has to know what he's shooting.
Тук не мога да стреляме толкова
All it
свободно,
takes is
извинете.
one tiny spark, and boom.
Трябваше да пробвам.
Take him. Take him. You must be a.
As a
Hey,
boy,
Peppa.
I always loved the 4th of July.
Тук трябва да много внимателно да действам, бе.
Surprise!
Майка ти шутката.
There he is. Time to blow your shit up.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube.
Да, бе! Ево тапанара.
Freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane. It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
Какво да го направим сега?
Instead, I spotted a ladder.
Боже, това беше бати губенето на времето, човек. Това беше бати губенето на времето. Ако бях минал теди къде си, ще стане това. Това реших да го направя ето така.
Climbing down that ladder required some caution. Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith, which ain't easy when you're suspended between heaven and hell.
Leap of faith, майко мила, ще се разплюкам като жаба.
I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
Ще се катериме, че силно асансьора няма да работи.
I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell? Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserve better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Сега къде? Идеал Петров. Пак ти пича аз. Запалили си от главата.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out!
Чакайте, бе. Тук много. Фак. То тук няма къде се скрием, бе. Ти лут ли си? Да бе, си го хвърля, бе. Бай, хуй. Добре, че. Приятно папане, приятно биене. Ще се мога вие кой точно ми трябва. Де си, бе? Разгеле.
So that's how Henry Plummer died.
До после, евентуално, потенциално. А аз съм някъде до към 9-10
I
па.
was officially a bounty hunter.
Ти иначе какво ще играеш? Асасино? Преди да ходиш да папаш, де?
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15.
Добре.
From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Значи, оня да го бихме 4 опита го правихме да го застреляме и го убихме на честно, нали, само да натърпа. Е бил бърз.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
I thought the Texas Rangers got hard.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe.
Не моля ти ще презарежеш, бе. Чичин.
It was holding a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal
Witch
compadres.
tits.
To the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and
Стана, бе. Аз ще стреляме в... Ли.
wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men, fathers and husbands,
By the way, много
brothers and
странно е
sons,
конструиран
men
сторито,
with
де.
families who cared about them.
Връща
Families
назад,
who
е
put up
преразказва
money in
някакви
hopes
работи.
of finding justice.
Но пак го има, де.
He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Shit, it's cold out here. I'm freezing my giblets off. Ain't right, we gotta stay out here keeping watch like this. Ain't nobody stupid enough to go after Hardin anyway.
И аз ги чувам, а не ги виждам
Better
кинги.
3 hours early than a minute too late. They didn't ask why I was there. They knew.
Shoot him!
As most of them were wanted as well.
Fast Revolt, добре.
I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. And that was easier said than done, as most of them were
О,
foolish
добре.
and full of bravado.
Той направо ги
without
фърля
work.
патроните вътре. Окей.
I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Arden's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their hefe of my unwelcome presence.
You ain't beating me, boy! Stop that sumbitch! Let the boys know we got another law dog.
Шумте, ама те виждам, бе.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Аз заврих да че им динамит угашите, бе.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration. I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon.
Демек, на къде сме? Да влизам... да влизам в бара.
Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility. I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Fuck.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Много бавно го...
That man was faster than grease lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
Какво стана сега? Гръмахме ли го?
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
Добре, боже. И аз съм за една бира. И пак трябва да хода да се... до едното място. Добре, то ми скъса нервите, признавам.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Епизод 5, боже, аз даже не видях, че има епизоди.
I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
Тук един ми скъса нервите за дуела. Сега, че преследваме някакъв индианец. Renegade Apache.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
A long time ago, on a mountain far, far
Grey Wolf
away.
was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death.
Най-вероятно заради това пиксел шейдинг ли беше технологията, бе? Играта не изглежда толкова стара, мама му стара.
Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
Това значи, че сега ще трепаме индианци или... Просто питам от любопитство. Се мисля, най-много такива червенокожи съм ликвидирал в гън, който го помни. Чакай бе. Чакай бе, пич! Какво се стана? Та навечеряхме. Това ме върна от детската градина. Почти.
They saw me before I saw them. And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't
Те верно
such a
са
good idea.
червенокожи тия, бе.
Now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
Горе-долу са един набор. Да ти кажа. Гън от 2005-та. О, намшотче, хело. Ко прави, майка? Драго ми е.
rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there.
Дай пък каманака.
Having some regrets about going after them, I did. But then again.
Мале, едва ги виждам тия. Това трябва да се запълна метъра горе. Но защото че как си, ние отдавна сме се стичали по стримчетата.
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Охо, двама ли ги... Тук добре ги наредих. Тоя път. Да, и за работата е ясно. И мен ме напъваха. Добре ми го напънаха тази седмица. Аз това сега в момента с такъв кеф трепем индианци. Че Твича вече чувствителен към всичко, мама му стара. Сега. Не. Вадяче. В тая мисия, да. Той е чаптър, той е епизод. То, че сме на тука сме. Ама нататъка на къде сме? Долу абсурда сме. Това няма как да скочи до там. Чага. Боже. Боже, то тук имало маршрут, бе.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Тия поне стрелят с карабини.
Was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian War.
Бе. Time for tuning. Чакай сега ви, бе. Това ми дава някакъв апгрейд към за релоудването. Ама за кое точно нещо не мога. Крис. Това е за динамита. Би трябвало да е това.
They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
Разбрах. Чакай, бе. О, боже. Това колко му е по-бързо релоуда. Не казвай на никой.
How come you know so much about angels?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
Даже той не му мъква, бе. Верно, че разказва, че нашия, ама все пак.
I pursued him into the cave of death.
Пак да намерим някакъв секрет. Да се отчетеме. Че е голем бой.
And that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows. And I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me.
Това за Били...
As his story unfolded in my mind.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul will have no rainbow if the eye have no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there were definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Чакайте, бе, пичове.
I
аз нямам патрони.
Имам. Like a miracle. I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering white-water river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back.
Опале, то къде че го...
I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
Точно някаква рибарска история, нали? Как ви казах.
Steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me.
Вика, бе, не беха дозина върху това. Апачето 3-4, абе, баря беха. Къде отиде, бе? Така. %. Това по-бързо да зумваме на оръжието. Капацитет, дай да увелича капацитет, защото бая почнах да пуцам с тия двойните. Не, че имам патрони за тях, да, ама все пак.
Wouldn't you know it? That crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Сега беха петима, шестима. Чакай, бе. Чакайте, бе, нинджи. Добре, мога ги докарам и до 100, майните шака.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before.
Те викаше балъкът на филм.
I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn
О, боже! Стига, човек, това ли беше целото гонене? Реално не го е фанал. Стария индианец, хитър.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Чат, много сте тихички, бе. Тука ли сте още? Хело, хело. Едно на здраве.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street.
Коце, ако си тука, тури един бан. Свърши малко работа, ако не аз ще турим. Баш си е за бан. Не го знам кафе. Така. Айде. Ай, честито на печелившите.
Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up.
На нумка ли се бе кака?
Well, the locals
Драгомир.
recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. Their first mistake was pulling a job in their own damn hometown. The boys grew up in Coffeeville, so everybody knew them. Bank teller tricked them, telling them the time lock on the safe wouldn't open till 9:30.
Ма и екстра, викам, чакай малко да се отчетем, че съм жив, да ма бият хората. Се пофаля, какво съм си купил вчера за...
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that thing, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
Аз сигурно ще мина, защото съм до към 9-9.30 ще стримам и чуте пак съм на работа. Та пак ще видим, значи. Образно казвам, да. Ти стана направо по-активно от Forged и мани другото. А той, by the way, как е? Аз е тази игра в момента, която я цъкам. Вчера беше в Steam и днеска май на промоция.
One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Да. Те помежду от самолетите в Fortnite не са чак толкова издръжливи. И сам да си мога свалиш един ден, ама както и да е. Но е малко неприятно с тях. Определено. Той го баннахме, не знам, нещо... Някой реши да изсере нещо. Скоро не бях банвал никой. Май. тъмни балкански субекти. Какво ще играеш? Думички ли? Че, то от нашите.
Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. Brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Чак нямам идея какво сме тук. Тия наши ли са, ваши ли са? Това дето го цъкам в момента. Това беше на промоция. Call of Juarez се казва. Дърта на Библия. Чакай. Боже, трябва да следвам долу, бе. Чакай.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie, Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Няма сменяме патрони.
Son of a bitch!
Ще има ли някаква далавера или не е баш? Браво, Викторе. Да Винчи, hello.
Over there! That's Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! Came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name? Silas Greaves. And when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Добре, как?
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
Ако това си на тубата, пичовете в тубата могат да се абонират и отдолу в инфото ще има оставя никой към Twitch, където също може да ме последват.